what the customer wants is not necessarily what the customer needs. There is a misconception sometimes that UX designers, a new labeled graphic designer, and we even see this in the industry actually. Like I was talking to a recruiter like not too long ago, and he was actually telling me that a lot of people actually compete, like a lot of like the real product designers, UX designers are competing with newly transitioned web designers. So again, this goes back to the discussion that we were just having, that it can be difficult. Like, for example, if you are a UI UX guy and you are also involved into the creative side of things, it can be very difficult. Like, for example, we could choose this font would be much better. This design, the design of this button or this banner would look much nicer. But then, for example, it doesn't, like the leads don't converge because users keep missing their information, for example. This is all contextual in this case. So I think the focus here, so there's the rest of you guys can read it, but basically the point is the main context should be, the main focus should be applied on how easy it is to access the information, rather than how many clicks. Of course, that the clicks is definitely something that we should keep in mind. And when you are designing your task flows and everything, you should try to minimize as much as possible, like the number of clicks. Think about, for example, if you want to buy a house or you want to buy a car, if you can just afford like buying either your neighbor's car or someone else's car, it's an easy enough choice. But when you have like a budget and you go and see multiple cars or multiple houses, by the first time you start driving that driving that car, and you realize that, for example, that car broke like after a week, the first thing you are going to think is, no, like I wish I had gone for the other car. So not only makes choice harder, but it also makes satisfaction harder as well. A very known company that all of us know about it, and this is a big problem that they have, is Netflix. So Netflix has this really strategic UX issue that they have so much content available that it's really hard for the users to choose what to watch. So I'm sure that more than enjoying Netflix, I'm sure that most of you has browsed through Netflix like on a night, I don't know, at 9 p.m. or something, wanting to start watching a series or a film. And what happens is that you go through it and there's so much choice that you just think, you know what, I'm going to read a book, or you know what, I'm going to go to sleep, because you can't be bothered, and that's why like they always try like, to select something for you to watch, like in that like big screen, the hero screen. So when in doubt, always animate. So this is something that you will come across, funnily enough, also in something that we are going to be covering later on as well, on what to pass to a developer. So designing for yourself can be different. Basically in here, animations can be very important. And I give you a very good example. Like when you start using an app that you don't really know, or you are already very familiar with an app, but the company has changed some of the features, and they say now to access your account, it's here. Now you can also pre-select whatever. Now you can randomize your music by clicking here, etc. So the way that they explain that is usually through animations, and it's a sort of a guided way of accessing information, right? So as UX designers, we are always battling the fact that users don't read, or most of the time they don't read. Again, depending on your demographic or on the specific users you are working for, but it's a fair assumption, so if you can simplify it with animations, with pictures, with tooltips, with God knows whatever, it can really like help. However, overdoing it can become an issue as well. It can be irritating for the user to have to wait for the animation to complete. A discovery phase can go from anything from a few weeks to 6 months sometimes. The organization is going to be designing exactly what the user wants, okay? But also it's going to prevent changes of direction in the future. Windows, like one of the biggest corporations in the world, so they pay the price for not doing discovery work, for not listening to the users, for probably, that was, in my opinion, that was a clear case of no user testing, basically.